Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Today, Emmerdale is no stranger to dark twists, shocking betrayals, and heartbreaking exits, but Anya King's tragic death at Celia's farm marks one of the most devastating turns the village has seen in years. What began as a rumor about Celia's shady operations spiraled into a terrifying fight for survival, ending with a loss that will echo across the Dales for months to come. A sinister journey into Celia's territory. The nightmare began when Anya, desperate to uncover the truth behind Celia's growing criminal network, followed a lead that pointed her straight to the farm on the outskirts of the village. For weeks, whispers had spread about suspicious lorries, late-night visitors, and workers who seemed frightened to speak. Anya, who had always carried a fierce sense of justice, refused to ignore it. But she underestimated how dangerous Celia had truly become. Under the surface of Celia's calm facade lay a ruthless woman running a tightly organized underground operation. Anyone who poked too close quickly learned she wasn't afraid to silence threats, permanently. The moment everything went wrong. On the night that sealed her fate, Anya slipped into the farm hoping to gather evidence. What she didn't know was that Celia had been watching her closely for days. Hidden cameras, armed guards, and a heavily secured perimeter meant that Anya walked straight into a trap. When Anya reached the barn, expecting to find only crates, she instead found Celia waiting in the shadows, her cold smile illuminated by a single flickering light. The confrontation was brutal. Celia demanded to know who else Anya had told. Anya stood her ground, refusing to be intimidated. She warned Celia that the truth would come out, but Celia, furious and increasingly unhinged, snapped. A violent struggle broke out as Anya tried to escape, but Celia's guards quickly closed in. Outnumbered, injured, and terrified, Anya made one last desperate run toward the open field behind the farm. But she slipped on the muddy ground, and in that split second, Celia delivered the final blow, one that Anya wouldn't recover from. Her body was left concealed behind the barn until Celia decided how to cover her tracks. The village begins to worry. Back in the village, Anya's sudden disappearance didn't go unnoticed. Ruby was the first to sense something was wrong when Anya failed to reply to her messages. Caleb grew suspicious too. He knew Anya had been digging into things that could get her killed. But the police initially dismissed the concern, insisting Anya had probably gone off to clear her head. It wasn't until hours later, when Aaron mentioned seeing Anya walk toward the farm road, that the pieces began to fall into place. Caleb and Ruby rushed to Celia's estate, frantic and terrified. But Celia's guards turned them away, insisting it was private property. Caleb's instincts screamed danger. Celia had always been unpredictable, but this felt different. This felt deadly. The horrifying discovery. It was only when D.S. Carter, acting on a tip-off from a frightened farm worker, raided the property that the truth came crashing down. Behind the barn, partially hidden under a tarp, officers discovered Anya's lifeless body. The moment Ruby arrived and saw the blue police tent, her heartbreaking scream echoed across the fields. Caleb collapsed to his knees beside her, overwhelmed by grief and guilt. The village had seen tragedy before, but this one hit like a punch to the gut. Anya, young, brave, and full of potential, had been taken far too soon. Celia's cold-blooded response. As officers moved in to arrest Celia, she showed no regret, no fear, only frustration that her carefully built empire was starting to crumble. She insisted Anya had brought it on herself. Her chilling lack of emotion sent shockwaves through the investigating team. Her arrest marks the beginning of a massive criminal case, one that threatens to expose the full scale of her operations. But for now, the village's focus remains on mourning the young life she destroyed. The village in mourning. The Woolpack became a gathering place for grief, with friends sharing memories of Anya's humor, kindness, and fiery determination. Even characters who rarely agreed found themselves united in heartbreak. Charity, Chaz, Lydia, and even Kane offered words of comfort. But no one is suffering more than Ruby and Caleb. Ruby blames herself for not stopping Anya sooner. Caleb, haunted by his own criminal past, fears that his daughter died because she learned too much. Their emotional breakdown is set to become one of Emmerdale's most powerful storylines in the coming weeks. A legacy that won't be forgotten. Anya's death isn't just a moment of tragedy, it's a turning point. It exposes Celia's monstrous empire, sets the stage for multiple arrests, and sparks a village-wide demand for justice. With tensions rising, characters turning against one another, and Celia preparing for what may be the trial of the century, Anya's death will shape Emmerdale for months to come. Her courage may have cost her life, but it also ignites the war that will finally bring Celia's empire crashing down.